haven't seen you in a while, but we see each other on Zoom all the time, so it feels like, we're like family, like we're friends.
Family that I don't see. I like that. That's my favorite kind of family. I time out every family gathering. Like there's the holidays. How long do I have to stay?
You're still doing that? Oh, that's funny. I know before I go in.
You do? I tell my sister. So I'm good for a half hour.
Yeah, that's a good enough time.
Do you tell people that you're Puerto Rican?
Only if I'm in danger. No, I don't tell people because I want to connect with people like authentically. But then if I suspect that there's like some sort of racism happening, where they're like, oh, this white bitch, then I'd be like, yeah, so I'm Puerto Rican. Or if I suspect the opposite, like if I suspect they're like, oh, there's the Spanish cunt, I'll be like, so I won't mention anything. I just be like, I am white as white can be. Um, no, I don't do that anymore, but I used to do that. I used to like just kind of blend in with everyone.
I'm a blender. Yeah, I definitely, I am Puerto Rican, not by choice. I was born in Manhattan, and it's one of those things where I feel like I want to be a part of society, and I want to blend in with everybody.
My stand up, I always have a bit where I say I'm Puerto Rican. I honestly wish I can take it. Well, I like that I have it in there because it makes people laugh. But it's funny because as soon as I drop that I'm Puerto Rican, like I all of a sudden I feel this like extra warmth and extra love. And it's like, why wasn't that there before? But that's what it is, I guess. That's how it is.
I grew up in a house all full of women because my dad was in jail a lot. So, and they were so loud. It
Oh
just,
yeah.
that forced me into introversion. Introversion is just possible. If I was thinking of being an extrovert, it's because like I was shut down every second. You're a man, you have a dick, and you have to shut up.
Yeah, I am very quiet and I still have attitude though. I notice that that's a distinction between Latin people is that you could be quiet, you could be introverted, but there's a bit of attitude in there.
I used to be a dick when I was younger. Now I'm just gentle, gentle person.
Gentle dick, yeah.
A gentle. I remember that. Yeah.
Another thing about my family is like, everybody, not to generalize, but like some of them are super loud. Some of them, like maybe one or two are like vulgar. Like the jokes are like super. And so I think I went to the opposite direction. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to like, do the opposite. But it's in there. Like I'm a mix. But it is interesting how families influence your personality.
Just similar trajectory. I was like, I'm going to speak in complete sentences. That's what.
I started to read more just because I wanted to build up my attention span.
So that says you have a short attention span.
I used to, but now, ooh, watch out. I am locked in.
That's good.
This is going to sound so cheesy, and I apologize in advance. Are you guys ready for this?
I have some cheese, yes.
You guys get ready for this. My ideal good life would be a life full of like hugs and kisses and just nothing but like, we love you. And like reading and eating well and like exploring the world.
I always had dreamt because I grew up just in around brick cities. A good life would be is like living in a farm with animals and having fresh milk and eggs. Like that's a good life to me. Do you have dreams?
Oh yeah, my dreams are super vivid. I love that I can remember them because they're like movies, but what I don't love is when they come to life, like when it happens like days later, I'm like, oh my God, I saw that coming. Like actually so uh 3 weeks before the shutdown, I had a dream that I was on a beach and all of a sudden there was a helicopter above us and they started with the machine gun. They started to shoot everybody on the beach. And then all of a sudden, these guys came down from the helicopter and they were wearing hazmat suits and they were dumping bodies into like trucks. And they dumped my body into the truck thinking that I was dead. But all I remember was waking up and thinking, what the fuck's in the sky? Why were they wearing hazmat suits and why did they kill everyone? And so like 3 weeks later we had to shut down, and what did I see? I saw images of people in hazmat suits and people like it was like, oh cool, I should be charging for my psychic services.
That's like a premonition. Yeah. I have dreams, recurrent dreams of my ex, and it's just, to me, that's a nightmare because uh, I definitely didn't want to break up, and he definitely wanted to break up. So there's recurring unfinished business there. So it's happening all in my dreams.
Is he in a relationship now?
Why has it got to be a he?
Oh, she? Oh, I'm so sorry. Are they in a relationship now?
I prefer day. Yes. I think so. Yeah. I think he's legally married. It sounds like that was a nightmare too. You predict it. I would love to be able to predict something in my dreams. I used to have a dream journal because I have what's called lucid dreams, and that's a skill. It sounds like you have the same skill.
I think it also depends on what you're eating. Like if you meditate a lot, it depends on what you eat.
Yeah.
That can all help like you retain your dreams and make them more clear.
I eat a lot of broccoli. My nightmare is to be neutered. This puppy is about to get neutered.
Oh,
That is my nightmare. It's like
oh.
even in society, when someone tells you you can't do this, or in society where you just like, I can't have sex ever, that's a nightmare situation.
Oh yeah. Or like you can't leave your house.
I'm okay with that.
But okay, so it depends. Or you have to wear a mask forever. You know, like when
Uh,
people tell you you can't. Yeah, yeah. It feels like you're in jail or something.
yeah, that's a different, mentally neutered, society neutered, racially profiled, or any of that stuff. What's a nightmare for you?
The New World Order.
Ooh, this is,
Um,
this is a little rough out there. Yeah.
a nightmare would be food shortages, high gas prices, no jobs, civil fighting.
Isn't that what's happening? Wait, there's no gas. Hey, there's no food. I live in the Bronx, and like everyone is struggling in some different way.
Are there not food shortages up in the Bronx, are there? Is there?
I think so. I mean, not. It's just it costs too much. I like people eating less.
Yeah, right. That's the upside. So maybe, Americans do need this. They do need the food shortages and they do need the higher prices. That way they can eat less. Yeah,
We went
that's the
from
way to look.
gluttony to something else, uncancelled, something that was canceled or went away, a person, or and now is back. And how do you
Louis
feel about it?
C.K. was canceled, and I guess, society has deemed that he is so talented that they have welcomed him back. And that made me actually think about how we cancel humans, but talent always brings them back. Woody Allen, what's his name? R. Kelly, he'll be back. Bill Cosby, he's trying to come back. Like all these guys, like their talent won't let them like stay away.
In India, everybody is trying to get cancelled because that's the fastest way to be popular and make a lot of money in India. They just try to get cancelled and then they do a big ass comeback, and that's how it is.
Famous people don't get canceled so much. Instead, the civilians, the normal people's freedom of speech is canceled. So the power balance is a little bit different from Western countries.
I think they're trying to cancel people in America for, giving their opinions. Like Macy Gray recently said that she doesn't believe transgender women are women. That was just her opinion. And like 3 days later, she had to take that back and say, no, you know, being a woman is a vibe. But you can tell, like, no one has such a quick, like, that was her true, authentic opinion about her definition of a woman. And because people didn't like it, it didn't sit right with some people. They basically threatened her livelihood, and she had to retract it and then say, no, and, you know, if you feel like a woman, you're a woman. But that's not how she genuinely felt. But that's an example of women or people in general getting canceled for having opinions that are not popular. And that's a problem because eventually they're going to tell us what to think and how to feel. And by they, I mean, like, you know, leadership.
I'm a big fan of some of her songs. I think she can say anything she wants. Some people get a pass.
So you give Macy great. You should fucking text her or send her a message, be like, you get a pass. Stop, you know.
It's an overcorrection of I don't like this, so you can't do it.
Yeah, like J.K. Rowling. People loved what's the series that she
Harry
created?
Potter?
People loved Harry Potter. Like they were and then she said, I don't know what she said that was like, again, it went against the LGBT community. I think she's
Something similar. She said that she would not have a LGBT trans. There are no witches who are trans. I think something along that lines. I don't know, but that's her opinion.
Yeah, and then people were like, fuck J.K. Rowling. I'm like, well, what about those Harry Potter books, though? Like, I don't know.
We're burning books now. A lot of people credited Harry Potter for actually reading.
Yeah, and I guess for the takeaway for me is that, like, even with Woody Allen, the movie director, he produces and makes beautiful movies, but he's kind of like, his past is like mad shady. Like, he married his daughter, his other original daughter accused him of molestation. Like, he's got an ugly past. However, like, he still created this beautiful body of work. And so I'm starting to realize that, like, you can have people that create gorgeous things, but they're also, like, as a human, they're disgusting people. I think a lot of the canceling just comes from power.
A mob mentality, for me, where there's this mob mentality, mostly on Twitter, and they become the loudest voice. It's sort of like my Puerto Rican sisters. They're so loud, they just cancel me out. I can't even get a sentence in. My thing that I thought was canceled was now back. I recently saw Michael Jackson on Broadway, or what's it called? It's the Jackson thing. And I was like, oh wow, this is good music. They don't mention anything about pedophilia. They don't mention, everybody was dancing. And I know this is controversial to say, but I thought that if you had good music, it is transcending, where people around the world will like it. Can you separate it if you're, like you said, the backstory is a little muddy?
There was this big incident in America, which led to a big cancel culture moment for me as well. I had to cancel the most important material in my hand. But now, just like how things are coming back, how things are uncancelled, the gun is back, baby, because America canceled guns and uncancelled guns. So I think even I should uncancel my gun. Okay, the gun is back.
Yo, say that to Japan, mate. Say that to Japan.
I was about to say, there's a lot of guns everywhere.
No wonder where they found the inspiration from. America.
Our biggest production in America that outsourced to the rest of the world is cinema.
With guns.
With guns.
Yeah.
What's that, John Wick?
Good movie. Good movie.
Actually, it's funny that no one's talking about someone who got uncancelled recently. The one and only Captain Jack Sparrow, Willy Wonka, the one and only Mr. Johnny Depp, who got cancelled and uncancelled.
I think society was traumatized. I don't think they knew what was happening. But yeah. Right? Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, cancel cop. And so now Amber Heard is canceled, which means she'll probably be back in like a year. Is that how we're tracking?
I gave the Court of Justice opinion in the cancel justice, And until Aquaman 2 releases, we are gonna put her on cancel hiatus.
She was
And
recast. She was recast in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, they just
After-
edited her parts out and redid it, digitized it.
Ah, okay.
Hate to break the news to you.
If she's talented, she'll be back.
Mhm.
she's talented in doing one thing for sure. When she has to star in a commercial where she has to poop on someone's bed. No, that should be the commercial. That should be a comeback. You know, she poops on a bed and it says, "This bed is still clean, so you should buy this bed." That's a good commercial. That's a selling point.
I wonder how many people who normally poop on beds saw that on TV and was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore.
Or they were inspired.
Oh, they were inspired, exactly. They were like, oh, I've never tried that.
Tonight's the night.
Oh God. Hey, one question. I actually got sacked from my former company. Will that be considered as a cancel as well?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Then I already got canceled.
How recent was it?
What did you do?
I
That
slept
depends.
during the meetings. Yeah, that was a brave movement. That was a brave move.
I think that it was wrong. You
Mm.
should not get cancelled. The company should get cancelled.
Well, for bad
Because
for
sleep is
boring
important.
meetings.
Sleep is
Yeah.
important,
Yeah, basic needs.
especially
Isn't
in
it?
work.
I've heard of that before where people work so hard that they're sleeping on the subways, they're sleeping in the office. So
Yeah.
you were working that hard that you got fired. You got canceled.
Yes.
Well, the truth is, it's not they are working so hard to get sleep. They are just sleeping hard. Many of them don't work hard so much.
Kira, that
Don't
hurts
believe
me a
in
lot.
media.
Yo,
No, I
Kira,
just
that
sleep,
actually hurts me.
just-
I used to play audiobooks while I was sleeping because I thought it would make me smarter. So that is hard sleeping.
Hey, I have a question to Latino people. Why do they play music for public darting on the subway?
We want to share our
That earphone.
Yes, we want to share our experience. There are guys still in the subway. It's usually older Latinos. They carry this like boombox thing, and it's like a circle thing, and they just want everybody in the subway to hear it.
Yeah, so now I get a little bit familiar with Latino music. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out. It's so annoying. You know what I hate too is when they answer, well, not Latinos, but just people in general, when they answer their phone on speakerphone, it's like, why do we have to be in on this conversation? Like, it's not that good. Like,
It's like, yeah, if you're gonna share your conversation, which I do like to know what other people are thinking. I look outside my window and people are just yelling stuff back and forth. I'm like, okay, I get it. I know, I get a sense of it, but it's got to be juicy and good.
Yesterday around 50th Street, I just saw a Latino guy driving a car with playing music so loud, and he was driving with maracas.
no, really?
That's
Yeah.
so fun.
Welcome to New York. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was
it.
doing a parade.
Did your body vibrate as the car was driving?
You're driving, and the music was so loud, and with some maracas.
Yeah.
Maracas, is it correct to say the instrument in English?
Mariachi. Is it, are you saying mariachi? Like a mariachi band? Yeah.
Yeah, the
Maracas,
instrument.
Maracas.
Maracas.
And it has the sound of maracas, and it was really fun music. And that should be Latino people. I got used to it. Then I saw him. He was driving with maracas like this. Woo!
That was your next boyfriend.
Ha!
And in this digital age, Gen Z is protesting in its own way on social media. Doxing, or posting private information for an online audience, has become a popular recipe for revenge. And some of the most popular targets right now are all on the highest court in the land.
Y'all, apparently the credit card information got leaked of all of the Supreme Court justices, and Kavanaugh got his house vandalized.
This video, like many others, racking up millions of views, reacting to the so-called doxing of those 5 Supreme Court justices.
Our generation's just fighting. we're fighting back. We're not sitting here and taking it.
Doxing is when someone finds another individual's personal or private information and goes public with it, often on platforms like Instagram and TikTok.
Take me inside the mind of Gen Z.
The feeling of frustration, of anger, of feeling like there's not much that they can do to change what has happened in terms of the decision with Roe. This puts the power in a tiny way back in their own hands, whether, you believe it's ethical or not. In a small way, they feel like they have a little bit of control.
NBC News found several videos like this one on TikTok, alleging to reveal home addresses, IP addresses, and credit card information before they were removed by the platform. For now, as more reaction videos surface, there's no sign that the doxing trend will end anytime soon. Ethical or not, the practice cemented as a call to action for the digital age.
Well, first of all, that was such a great video because I didn't know what doxing is, which is basically when they take your private information and they make it public. And
what's the problem?
It's unethical. That's the problem. It's dangerous, and I'm not cool with it. Like, imagine if I said something on this podcast that someone didn't like, then they took my private information and they made that shit public, and then I have people at my door because they didn't like my opinion. That's ridiculous. Like, it's unethical is my first opinion. And also, like, it's not going to change this man's mind. He already made this awful decision, and like by threatening and harassing him, it's not like it's going to change his heart. It's not like he's going to be like, oh, like, let me be a better man. No, if anything, it'll probably empower him to keep being a dick, because for all we know, he can like now have access to buy a bigger house, a better house. Now he could probably have security. Who pays for that security? Like, probably our tax dollars. So I think this whole bullshit about like, oh, it gives the younger generation like a feeling of power or like a feeling that they're doing something, I think is bullshit. It's like you're just being just as bad as this guy. Like, you're not bringing light to any situation. You're just basically bullying this man whose opinion you hate. Rightfully so, but like, anyway, I don't really have much feelings about it.
I think it's personally, I think you can give out my address. It's just I don't mind. In fact, my address does appear. It's on some of the Eventbrite information. I was trying to get rid of it, but I don't want the exact apartment number. But
you guys can do doxing of my address, so that USPS can deliver my.
Yes.
Please do it. Never let them lose my stuff. But it's really surprising, and as Henry said, it's not a good thing. It's also violating the human rights. So it's not the right way to protest the people who are violating human rights. It's just hitting back in the same way, right? So it's just very it's also similar to this Shinzo Abe's shooting case. There are a lot of people who had the different opinions against him because he tried to do war, and he is kind of conservative person, but it's democracy. We are a democratic era, and we have the words and the power of speech. So we have to fight with literacy and knowledges and words. And it's very shocking, because every time when in any places when we start working, we have to sign the contract protecting people's privacy or personal information, right? So they should be arrested even.
Yeah, I mean, all the protesters needs to be a little bit more creative, like, I mean, you guys, I mean, if we don't show any creativities, then our acts will be basically the same as the other guys, And I heard some interesting way of protest when I was in college. So like, there are two impressive college protests. So one time, we actually had my college kids, we had a protest to some professors, the college itself, because they want to lower down, they want to close down the library because they didn't have the budget. and they think that that people don't actually study in libraries, so that's why they're closing down. We thought it was a bullshit. So what we did was we acquired the head of the whole college office, and we prepared the last exam of the semester, which was interesting. And the other thing is, I heard from other colleges that they also wanted to do some protests to their professors, and what they did was they didn't actually like crash anything or something, but they just how can I say, they read it out all the professors' thesis or articles when they were in master's degree. And according to some scholars, that shit is like pretty like embarrassing, because master's thesis articles don't actually mean shit.
Donette said it the best way. If you're a judge, I know a lawyer. Lawyers are just hard-headed, pig-headed. They just have opinions, and you're not going to change it. They think they're smart. They think their shit doesn't stink. Can you tell I don't like lawyers or judges? But they're just, you're not going to change that immovable block, and especially when you get to a certain age. It's like, wow. My sister said it best. I like to quote my sister. She said, when the Supreme Court, which sounds like a supervillain, the Supreme Court, that's the next Marvel supervillain, the Supreme Court did that, they pretty much canceled pussy. They canceled her pussy. Men are not getting any pussy in her factory. That's what she told me. And I'm like, yeah, that's the best response. No pussy for you.
What's the basis of cancel culture? You go into the person's digital profile. I'm not talking about real life profile, digital profile. So you go back to their old tweets, you go back to their old Facebook posts, Instagram posts, comments, and then based on those comments, you cancel them in the present. That's the basis for cancel culture. What doxing does is it takes it to another level by stalking their past, like real life addresses, bank accounts, and threatening via those. And I mean, Ankur did point out a good point. If a judge does some life-threatening decision, if he passes a life-threatening judgment, he should, face the consequence. But I think it still violates human. It violates humanity, I guess, because you don't want someone with a gun showing up to your face, to your whole family, and say, "I'm going to kill your whole family for this decision you made." And I'm going to spare that's the most evil thing anyone can do. But again, they're judges, they have protection. So even stalking them, you wouldn't be doing much damage to them. So it's still under that, scales of balance, the scales of justice situation. But I do believe that doxing is not a good thing to do.
They were releasing on TikTok and Instagram their credit card information, to make life hard. And I think that's persuasive if your mind is movable. But in these are conservatives who hate vaginas, and they just want women to go back in time. So that's not going to change their mind.
Henry, I just you said you hated Gen Z. Let's clear up on that. Because Gen Z is at least doing some things, getting some things done. What's your
like
problem with
what?
that?
What are you guys getting done? Please tell me.
Well, I hate Gen Z as a theory.
We are making memes, you guys. Come on.
That's true. Touche, sister. Touche.
You guys create very good memes. Yeah.
Greta Thunberg yelling at me. I love it.
I think it's like witches during Salem witch trial. They're just seeking pleasure out of burning someone. Technically not burning, but they're celebrating on someone's demise.
And the problem with that is that the next time it could be one of us. That's the problem.
We don't know who's gonna get the torch. We all could pretty much get torch for something.
Most Americans agree. There are some divisions in the little thing that women should have that final decision on the future of what happens inside their body and what happens in society. If you're going to bring up a shit kid, not all life is precious. That's not a cancelable opinion. I've done my research, and the kid yelling in the plane, Not precious.
We can be mad and be angry and try to, correct it. But in the meantime, it's also an opportunity to like educate people about like, not having unprotected sex, unfortunately. Like that way you don't have a child before you're ready.
I don't know if it is true for American situation, but in Japan, the similar thing happens a lot, especially for the criminals. So some people online look up the criminals' addresses, and the criminals' families got bullied everywhere. So they need to leave the house, and they got so much graffitis in the house, and sometimes they got some fire, and it's very dangerous. And comparing to Japan, abortion is done legally. That's how many people think. But actually, abortion is defined as a crime. And not so many people know that. And actually, I didn't know that too. So it's kind of hidden truth, but it's originally crime. But instead, we have a law protecting women's body, mom's body. So that's why a lot of women could have abortion. But some experts said because we have the law or whose definition, whose make abortion crime, women have a lot of sin or blaming herself.
The white population, they're not having sex. So there's going to be a lot more yellow and brown other people growing because we have to have babies. So it's kind of like, I think it's against their own interests. The people that are saying we want to save the kids. Well, who makes more kids?
Just gonna make a joke about how and ask if that's why all the Latin men on the trains are pumping their music loud to get women pregnant or to make sure that they don't get abortions. I don't know.
Humans, we all know, have been burning wood for a very long time. To cook things, to light things, and to make things. But then it was around 250 years ago, some clever people invented the modern engine using coal, oil, natural gas, and very quickly, engines replaced animals, engines replaced sails, engines helped light cities, engines gave us factories and highways and traffic jams, and every time we burn coal or oil or natural gas in these engines, carbon dioxide molecules escape into the air and hang there. These days you would find 412 CO2 molecules zinging about in here, 412. 1,000 years ago, it would have been again 280. 10,000 years ago, once again, 280. For most of human history, 280 was the number, and the change when it came suddenly and not surprisingly right here around the 1760s, the dawn of the age of engines. That's the moment when levels turn up and up and up because carbon engines spread so quickly, first across Europe and America and Japan, and for centuries richer nations were by far the biggest users, because remember, CO2 is a greenhouse gas. Each one of these molecules can trap a little bit of heat bouncing off the Earth, hold that heat in place for hundreds, even thousands of years. So the more molecules there are up there, the more heat gets trapped and the warmer our planet gets. We know our planet is getting warmer. The real question now is how warm will it get? And one way to find that out is to go backwards in time to see what it was like the last time the Earth had CO2 levels in the 400s. So here is a history of CO2 levels going way, way back. This is going to be like, this is 200,000 years back. And if you look at this, at no point did CO2 levels ever reach 400. It's not even close. Okay, so let's double it. Let's go back 400,000 years. Again, it's nothing. Okay, 800,000 years, same thing. We would have to go, hello, you ready for this? We would have to go 2.5 million years back in time to find the point when CO2 levels were as high as they are today. 2.5 million years ago is what we call the Pliocene. And in that era, the Earth was, we know, about 3 or 4 degrees warmer than the Earth today. There were small forests not too far from the South Pole. There were hardly any glaciers. And the oceans swelled. Sea levels rose and rose and rose until they were about 55 feet higher than they are today. Changes are so sudden and so drastic, with so many engines still burning carbon to make, well, whatever, stoves, refrigerators, toilets, washers, dryers, cars, new things, cool things, better things. All those engines cut down the time we have left to adjust and bring us closer and closer to irreversible tipping points, where we no longer have the power to slow things down, where we can't control what's happening. There are regions on Earth, vast and important, like the Amazon rainforest.
I mean, I kind of knew, but the video was very specific and colorful and very my speed.
When I see 400 in context, I'm like, oh, we've never had that. Not in real life. But then I also think the cockroaches will survive. They replace the humans. We'll still go on. When I say will, the planet will go on, not us.
Yeah, as you said, he spoke very slowly. So that was my first video I could understand without subtitles. Thank you very much for sharing that. And also, as a Japanese, I deeply apologize for us making so many good cars. I am very sorry about that.
Let's see, who makes the Sonata? I like Sonata.
But it's not just the cars, isn't it? Like the factories and like the microwaves and like what else? What else did they? It's not just cars.
Washing machines,
Air
washing
conditioners.
machine, the dishwasher. Like
Air
what about
conditioners. I
air
think
conditioners?
I heard that YouTube also creates tons of CO2. So yeah, I think in order to save the planet, I think all comedians should die. We need to kill ourselves to save the planet. Maybe we need to be the actual hero.
That's such a Japanese thing of you to say.
So the last time a prime minister was killed in Japan, he used the sword on himself, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that happened. I kind of wish that would happen.
He saw that video and was like, "Fuck it, let's just talk about suicide."
No, but yeah, I also like the video, and yeah, it turns out, I mean, I also did some research about like where all those like CO2s are coming in, why are this is a real danger, and even the Tesla, we think that, you know, the electric vehicles and Tesla might save the planet, but turns out while we create that one vehicle, we actually create more CO2 than we used to. So it turns out it's really difficult to define what should we do to actually stop making shit will happen.
Maybe save the forest. Maybe have more trees, because the trees emit doesn't they emit? Any scientists in the room? I'm gonna get ragged for this, but the trees emit CO2, doesn't it, or carbon?
Oxygen.
Yeah, and I'm a literature major. I don't know jack shit about science. Any science major here?
Like all these skyscrapers, it's like, why are we building more buildings? Like, I don't understand why we keep building more infrastructures. Isn't that all that engineering, all those lights that go on? Like, doesn't that help create the problem that we're talking about? Should we just all go to the forest?
In Japan, we believe that all nature has God. So we worship nature as God. On the other hand, we make a lot of manufacturers.
I worship Mother Nature, so yes.
Like, is there a pollution problem in Japan?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think
compared to other Asian countries, Japan is pretty good. Yeah,
Not
I mean,
really.
I lived in Seoul my entire life, and compared to the air in Seoul, Tokyo's air is a little bit more cleaner than absolutely than Seoul.
And now we're getting electric vehicles, but then again, to manufacture those electric vehicles, you're again burning coal to melt iron. So it's basically in the same way you're contributing to pollution. But I want to add this recent thing that happened in India. Plastic is banned in India now. We're not allowed to use plastic bags. So there's been a whole revolution, I guess, because we're not allowed to carry plastic covers right now. We're supposed to carry cloth bags and biodegradable bags. So that's a good change in a way, because you're not using plastic as bulk as it was. I mean, we still have plastic bottles, soft drinks, all of those, but we also have plastic surgery. So yeah, plastic is still relevant.
I'm not afraid of pollution and all the stuff, because we don't kill Mother Earth. We're only killing ourselves. We pollute the earth, like what I agree with Henry. Like once the earth is polluted, gone we are. Like we are the last human species is gonna live on Earth. Some other species is gonna take over us. You know, like done. We're done. Like we can't stop it. It's really going so fast, and trees are just cutting downs and downs. You know, we don't have enough trees to absorb the carbon dioxide from the ozone area. Like just wait for Judgment Day. You know, like dang, 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 dang.
I saw the movie Judgment Day. It didn't work out good.
Technology has made it so easy for us to get whatever the fuck we want right now. Like I can close out the Zoom and do takeout and have it in my face in like 5 minutes. And so I think that leads us to believe that we can't change, we can't stop, global warming from happening. Like we can, like it takes hope, it takes like effort, it takes people not fucking ordering Amazon every single fucking day. Like get your shit together, write a list, and then make that one like I know people that have purchases. I don't talk to these bitches anymore. Like they'll place an order that comes, they'll have a box that comes to their house every day. Like that causes pollution. So like on a day-to-day basis, we can stop it. Also, I'm tired of doing all the composting for Forest Hill. No.
Honestly, Japanese people are the least conscious about environmental problems among G7 countries. So first of all, thank you very much for sharing this video. I learned so much. And it said the height of the sea level should be 55 feet higher. It's higher than the highest tsunami we had in Tohoku. It's fucking scary. We all die. So we have to be really serious. And on the other side, I just realized that since decades ago, many years ago, we Japanese people have been suggested how to solve this problem. Just to practice Kamehameha. We have to learn how to use ki. Yeah, Tai Chi. So we all have to learn Tai Chi and control ki.
What is is controlling the energy?
Yeah, ki is energy. So
yes, but I want to try that. So yeah.
But it's true. We have the power of ki. So once you scrub the hands like this, and you feel a little bit difference between these palms. It's ki. And it makes your body heal and warm. So yeah, maybe I think we can cook pizza with this ki if you master it. I will do it.
More like
It's not.
That's a reference.
Video you showed was the perfect video for boomers. Okay, that's the perfect video to help boomers understand things. So slow, so cartoonish. Yeah. If I was watching that video on YouTube, if the cancel cop was watching the video on YouTube, he would put it on 2x speed and watch it in the background while typing stuff. Okay, so
there's gonna be a point. As a boomer watching that video, I said, yeah, there's the point of no return. and I wanted to say that really slow. The point of no return is the point of less humans. So, yeah, sea levels, too hot. Although I think humans can handle some of the heat. Some of the people can. I'm looking at Latinos and maybe even India. We thrive in heat. I can take some heat.
Our evolution now is what, 12 million years from Homo hominid to Homo erectus to Homo what do you call this, Neanderthal into the homosexuals, you know. No, I mean the Homo sapiens. Okay, it's Homo sapiens. Okay, so yeah, like if this thing happen, this pollution goes out of control, and also some of us gonna survive and evolve to the next one. It's already predicted. Homo Deus. That's where we come in. You know, that we are going to be the next generation of humans. Most of the human will die off. Like you know, there's a tribe in India, called North Sentinel Islands, right? These are the human that cannot contact with us, right? We go there, right? Our sneeze, our cough itself will kill them, the whole entire tribe. That's how human is. That's how weak they are. You know, if they come and leave to our city, they will die instantly. Their body cannot sustain what we can endure right now. So same thing, if pollution happens, the environment change, only some part of the humans get to, you know, evolve and survive over it and become the next human species, Homo Deus.
You bring up a good point. Like when I go to Mexico and drink the water, I get sick. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready for that type of water.
I am very, very environmental concerned person. That's why I fart a lot. So I'm gonna sell my fart, and you guys are very good friends of mine, so I will sell my fart at discounted price.
I hope my car is run off your fart gas here.
Yeah, because
I think rich people are going to die first because, you know, they are all drinking clean water. As Henry said, you know, you go to Mexico and then you drink the water and then you get sick. Well, rich people are going to die first if such thing happens.
I mean, I clearly feel the differences. Like 10 years ago, when I first arrived in Japan, the temperature wasn't not this high. Obviously, it was way cooler than it used to be. It was cooler than now. But now, we're in July. I'm covered in sweat at the moment, and I can clearly feel that things are getting bad. So anyway, my solution is gather all the factories, gather all the rich people, gather all the people who got money, and shoot them in Mars. They will figure it out. And rest will stay here.
How do you get them to Mars, though?
Well, Elon Musk will handle it. I don't know.
Keegan, you're in Japan?
Yes, I'm in Tokyo.
And you're criticizing Japan?
Yes.
Japan? Oh, just checking.
Yes.
Just checking.
Yes, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna get canceled anyway.
Be careful.
Okay, if anyone is going to criticize Japan, it's going to be a Korean person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So stereotypical.
Keegan, I know you don't fucking care, but your visa definitely cares.
Yeah.
If I was working in another country, I would be very nice to, this place is nice. They don't have good human rights, but it's nice, and like people are nice to me.
So true.
That's Kilara right now in America.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, this is like the very crazy time to be in America right now.
Yeah, very good. Bad things happening, but good things. I like 2 days ago, I was very impressed by the freedom of speech of America. When I saw cashier staff talking on the phone during a business. Oh my God, you can talk on the phone during working? Freedom of speech.
That's too much freedom.
After all the abortion stuff going on in America and school shooting stuff, you know, as a child,
I think we all Asians were really fascinated by America. America was like the ideal country.
Very
Everybody,
true.
like, yeah, we all, like, while growing up, we all loved, like, we all adapted to American culture. Like, that was like, oh, that was like, that's what cool kids used to do. And now suddenly, it's like, oh, the kid is cool, he's handsome, he's cool, but he's dumb, you know?
Oh
So
yeah.
it,
Yeah, when I was young, every time when my birthday comes, I think of I'm very proud to announce myself like, oh, part of America. I'm gonna be American. I'm America. Now it's like this is the most stupid first world country on earth. My goodness. Yeah, like out of so many first world, this is the most, like, only school shooting happened there, only flat earthers you found there,
I think the idea of America is to invite the best, smartest people to take over the dumb people.
Oh,
my
yeah.
What I'm so surprised I heard, like, fat shaming it's just like a bad thing there, like when someone call you a fat, you can sue them. It's like, I totally disagree with that. Like, fuck
I'm
this
coming
shit,
there,
man.
America. I'm coming.
You need to fat shame people, because to let them know that, like, hey, you better work out or else you die, man. We are saving them.
Yo, fat shaming people can also is like bad for health.
Yeah, but you see, you'd rather die from my words than dying from donuts, right?
But
No, I'm saying, what if a fat person like just punches you and you are dead?
that happened to me on the train.
Oh wow.
I was just about to cancel you. Like, I was like over here, I was about to cancel you, but then you said you would rather die of my words than my donuts. You're uncancelled.
Oh no, I would prefer donuts.